These two are not going to confess to each other or ask directly about their crushes. If they did, it would go like, Shinomiya, who do you like?
So you're interested in who I like. Why is that? Could it be you are interested in me? In that kind of way. O kawaii koto?
So, talking about it directly means total defeat. So, he must do it through something which is predetermined, like cards. These cards might be dare cards, which you have to draw from if you lose a round. The game plan may seem easy now. Play against Kaguya and win, and make her draw cards as a punishment for losing. Miyuki can play any salt games like tic-tac-toe or connect four. This would work if you are up against any normal girl. But this is Kaguya Shinomiya. She is veteran of these games. Knowing that she would have already learned the winning strategies in the salt games. If she is given a losing game, she would just refuse to play. Even worse, she would say,
President Shirogane, you know, this is a salt game. And you probably know the winning strategy. So you're trying to force me to pick these cards. These cards ask you about your crush. Are you trying to know who I am interested in? O kawaii koto?
So, Miyuki has to play a game which is not solved. But if he does that, he risks losing and might have to end up confessing. This is the worst possible scenario for him. He cannot play a game which is not solved. Due to this deadlock situation, he cannot beat her in a two-person game. He has to try to make her lose in a three-person game. But there are no three-person solved games. So he has to collaborate with someone to make Kaguya lose. This is a tricky situation. Kaguya would not play with someone who she doubts is aiding Miyuki. She would only agree to play this game if she believes the third player is truly neutral. The only character like this in the series we know of is Love Detective Chika. Chika is completely oblivious to the war going on between these two. She would always try to win without caring for others. Miyuki can try to collaborate with Chika, but it is too risky. If she does not want to collaborate with Miyuki and tells Kaguya about this, it would totally mean an indirect confession. So we have to collaborate with Chika without her knowledge. This is one of two problems we have to solve. The other being about the cards. If Miyuki loses by chance, he has to draw cards, which are hanging like swords on his neck. If he chose the wrong one, the sword of confession would fall on his neck. So he has to make sure he draws the cards which are safe. This is hard as most likely Kaguya will ask him to shuffle the cards. So now we have the two problems he faces. He has to draw cards which do not contain the confession dares. Second, he has to collaborate with Chika without her knowing. The game solution I came up with solves both of these issues. Miyuki has to help Chika to win and take his position as kingmaker, which means he has to lose and always help Chika to win. You'll get to know why in a second. To solve the card issue, we would just divide the cards into two separate stacks. Let's say the one with all the spicy ones, like confession and indirect confession, we would put them in the red stack, and all the normal ones in the blue stack. Now we know Miyuki cannot pick the red ones, and he has to pick the blue ones. Also, Miyuki has to make Shinomiya pick the red ones. To ensure this happens, we can add a rule that if a person wins, the next person clockwise would take the red card, and the person sitting counterclockwise has to pick a blue card. Now we can make Kaguya sit clockwise after Chika, and we can take the remaining counterclockwise position from Chika. This means we can help Chika to win to force the red cards on Kaguya, and we would get the totally safe blue cards. This comes with a few drawbacks. Shirogane winning would achieve nothing. as that would force blue cards onto Kaguya, which are totally safe. Number 2. Kaguya winning means Miyuki has to draw red cards. If Kaguya realizes this in first few rounds, given that she has not confessed yet, she would just try to force the victory on Miyuki. Then this will again turn into a different battle about pushing victories onto others. To stop this, we need to make sure by the time Kaguya realizes this trick, she could not stop it anymore. So we have to add a rule to make the winner stronger each round, so Chika can get stronger each round. It would make it harder for Kaguya to win every round she loses. So this would be the general solution of games which could solve this problem. A 3-player game where the two that lose each pick a card from a different pile and winner gets stronger in the next round. An example of this would be Nim, modified for this. Nim is a game where players take turns picking up objects. Here, let's say marbles. Each person can take 1, 2, or 3 marbles each turns. One who picks the last one wins. This game is solved for 2 players, which means with perfect strategy, one can decide who wins before the game has even begun. But for 3 players, this game becomes less of a maths problem and more of a game of collaboration. So Miyuki, Chika and Kaguya would be playing this game. The rules would be as follows. Number 1, they would start each round with random numbers of marble, which they all can count. Number 2, they all can take 1, 2 or 3 marbles each turn. They all must take marbles in a clockwise manner. Number 3, they each have a stack of the same number of, let's say, 10 red and blue cards. Number 4, if a person wins the round, the person clockwise to the winner will draw a red card from the winner's pile, and the person sitting counterclockwise will draw a blue card from the winner's blue pile. Then both of them should do what is written on the card. The winner also can take 1 extra marble from the next round for each win. For example, if Chika wins a round, next round she can take 1, 2, 3 or 4 marbles. If she wins again, she could take 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 marbles, and so on and so forth. Number 6, the person whose pile finishes the first will win the game. Now we know the rules. The confession strategy for Miyuki for first few rounds will be as follows. Every game will be reduced to marbles from 1 to 9 in the final round. If he has 1 marble, he will just take it and win the game. You may say this will help Kaguya, as Miyuki winning will not make Kaguya confess. And you would be right, but winning here would make Miyuki control the future games better. As he could take more marbles, he can guarantee Chika's victory more easily. If he has 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 marbles, he would take 1, 2, 3 marbles to let Chika take the remaining marbles and force the red card on Kaguya. If there are 8 or 9 marbles, he would reduce the marble number by 1 to 7 or 8 and pass it on to Chika. Now if Chika and Kaguya both take 3 marbles, Miyuki will win. So the most marbles Miyuki can have in the next round is 6 and the least is 1. If he has 1, he must take it. But if he has more than that, he can pass the victory to Chika. Now for the 7 marbles. This is the most dangerous situation for Miyuki. He has to take 1 marble and pass the remaining 6 to Chika. Here Chika can take 3 marbles and pass 3 to Kaguya and make her victorious. But if Chika is playing for the win, like we assumed, Chika will logically take 1 marble, hoping Kaguya to take 1, so Kaguya can force 4 marbles on Miyuki. This is the only way she can win, so she would take 1 marble. Now, any number of marbles Kaguya take, Miyuki can force victory on Chika. Now, the next round onwards, if Miyuki wins, he can avoid pushing 7 marbles on Chika. If Chika wins, she would be able to win more and finish the game in first place. But the real war would be won by Miyuki, as it would make Kaguya confess. So this is the game and strategy. Miyuki needs to make Kaguya confess. He can suggest this game to Chika as she is in the tabletop games club. He may also help her to make cards so that the only red cards would have spicy dares on it. Later, Chika will suggest this game when three of them are available to play in student council room. Then Miyuki has to make sure to sit counterclockwise to Chika and win the game.